But we know that your husband has cheated on you. You even told me, Heavenly, that when Mariah said that she had receipts, you believed Mariah on Damon. You believed it. You told me you believed it. So that leads me to believe that he has cheated.
Sweet Tea is finally speaking out, and she's not holding back. For months, fans have been talking about what really went down between her and Dr. Gregory Lunsford, and now she's here to set the record straight. If you've been keeping up with Married to Medicine, you know Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory's romance was a hot topic. They seemed happy, but there were always whispers that things weren't as perfect as they appeared. And now Sweet Tea is confirming those suspicions. According to her, the issue started early on, even before they got married. She claims Dr. Gregory wasn't always as loving and supportive as he appeared on camera. She even hinted at moments where she felt disrespected and unappreciated, and that's just the beginning.
Okay, I'm talking about this scene of Married to Medicine when Dr. G and Sweet Tea get into an argument about the fight. Sweet Tea was acting like Dr. G did something wrong. The man came at him talking about what he is and what he ain't gonna do. You don't talk to no man like that. Those are fighting words. So Dr. G was not wrong. Quad started that mess with all her little nice, nasty comments. Y'all know how she do. She started that stuff. Talking about, oh, she the reason why that marriage. Girl, you ain't never care about that marriage. Next, how you gonna sit up there first? So Dr. G called Sweet Tea naive, which she is being naive, because why you keep saying, oh, what that man wasn't gonna do? How you know what that man was gonna do? How you know what it was gonna turn into? How you know this or know that? You ain't hear how that man was coming at your husband. So I don't get it, but okay, it was not his fault. Yeah, he was wrong for talking to her a little bit like that, but okay, that's his wife. Yeah, we get into arguments and stuff sometimes and talk wrong. Okay.
At first, it looked like Sweet Tea had stepped into the perfect love story. After all, Dr. Gregory's past relationship with Quad Webb had been nothing short of messy, and fans weren't sure if he was truly ready to move on. But then Sweet Tea came into the picture, full of life, energy, and a refreshing sense of excitement. She seemed to bring out a new side of him, and their romance quickly became a hot topic. From what we saw on social media, it looked like a fairy tale. Romantic dinners, expensive vacations, and the kind of love that seemed effortless. But behind the filters and captions, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Sources close to the couple started noticing cracks early on, and looking back now, the red flags were impossible to ignore. Dr. Gregory moved quickly, proposing in what felt like the blink of an eye. Some saw it as romantic, but others wondered if it was a way to prove to the world that he had found happiness again. Then there were whispers about his expectations for marriage, with some insiders claiming he wanted a wife who would be more traditional, more submissive, and for someone as independent as Sweet Tea, that was bound to be a problem. This wasn't just about love, it was about control. Gregory had clear ideas about what his wife should and shouldn't do. Some folks say he wanted Sweet Tea to fit into a mold, one that didn't quite align with her personality. She wasn't the type to sit back and just go along with things. She had opinions, ambitions, and a life outside of being Gregory's wife. Fans started noticing something was off during their public appearances. At first, they seemed like the perfect match, but as time went on, their chemistry felt different. Smiles looked forced, body language became tense, and in interviews, they didn't seem as in sync as before. And while social media still painted a happy picture, people close to the couple said the real story was much different. Behind closed doors, their disagreements turned into full-blown fights. Sweet Tea refused to be controlled, while Dr. Gregory wasn't willing to compromise on his expectations, and with every argument, the gap between them grew wider. If there was one thing that made this power struggle even worse, it was money. Dr. Gregory's success brought a life of luxury, designer gifts, lavish trips, and the kind of financial security that many dream of. But for Sweet Tea, the question wasn't about how much money they had, it was about who controlled it. Sources claim that Gregory used finances as leverage in the relationship. During arguments, he allegedly reminded Sweet Tea who was in charge, making it clear that he held the purse strings. While she had her own ambitions, she was stepping into a world where financial control wasn't easily shared. She wanted more independence, but insiders say that wasn't exactly encouraged. Instead, money became another way for Dr. Gregory to assert his authority, leaving Sweet Tea feeling stuck in a situation she hadn't fully anticipated. And once financial struggles mix with relationship issues, things almost never end well.
She's been talking about my marriage, talking about my body, talking about my endometriosis. What's the obsession with my relationship and what I do?
Tensions between Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory had been rising for months. Relationships over control to financial struggles, their relationship was slowly reaching a breaking point. People close to them say that arguments had become a regular thing, with both of them feeling unheard and frustrated. But one night, it all came crashing down. According to insiders, the argument started over something small. Maybe it was a simple misunderstanding, maybe it was the built-up frustration, but whatever it was, things escalated fast. Raised voices turned into accusations, and suddenly, the truth that had been hidden beneath the surface came out. Sweet Tea uncovered something shocking about Dr. Gregory. The details are still unclear, but whatever she found out, it was enough to make her walk away. Sources say the fight lasted for hours, with emotions running high, until finally, Sweet Tea made a decision. The very next morning, she packed her bags. She didn't look back. After months of trying to make it work, she realized she had been fighting for a marriage that was never going to survive, and just like that, she was gone, leaving behind the fairy tale that had turned into a nightmare. But here's the thing, Sweet Tea didn't just leave quietly. She made sure the world knew something was up. Shortly after she walked away, fans started noticing messages on her social media. Instagram posts about choosing happiness and knowing when to walk away caught everyone's attention. Then came the real bombshell. She posted a comment about lies always catching up and how some things you can't forgive. That sent fans into a frenzy. Was she hinting at infidelity, or was it something even deeper? People couldn't stop talking about it, and the pressure on Dr. Gregory started building. And then Sweet Tea did something no one expected. She spoke out. In an explosive interview, she finally told the truth about what had been going on behind the scenes. And trust me, it was nothing like what fans had seen on TV or social media. She described feeling unheard, undervalued, and constantly having to prove herself. She opened up about the struggles of being married to someone who wanted to control every aspect of their life together. And when the interviewer asked if she ever felt like she was in competition with Dr. Gregory's past, she didn't hold back. One of the biggest moments of the interview, when she was asked about another woman. Instead of a direct answer, Sweet Tea simply said, "Women always know." And that's when fans lost it. Was she confirming infidelity? Was there another woman involved? The internet exploded with theories, and suddenly everyone was dissecting her words, trying to piece together the truth. One thing was clear, Sweet Tea wasn't playing the victim. She was making sure her side of the story was heard.
You dumb. You dumb. And you put on a white coat.
Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong.
Well, all you little Botox to me up there, girl. Leave me alone. Please, instead of teaching the young women, you instead of teaching, you competing, bitch. You competing, you can never. You can never.
Go worry about that man you got, because I heard he calling quad, bitch.
Go back to
I heard he calling quad, so you might want to go check on.
You need it.
You might want to go check on.
Okay.
Understand that.
Okay, y'all.
Quad right now. He probably on the phone with her right now. You might want to go check on it. Because she let him go. And if you make a call, let me call quad up.
Come on.
I'm going to call her up.
I don't give a back. Damn.
I really did.
Can y'all be quiet?
Okay,
Now,
exactly.
you just got 2 sentences in the show. You just got 2 sentences.
Oh, don't come for me,
No.
boo. Don't come for me,
You
boo.
just got 2 sentences, girl. You
Don't come for me, boo.
I'm just saying. You just
Don't
got
come
2
for me,
sentences.
boo.
You can't tell nobody to be quiet.
I'm just need to be quiet. Be quiet.
Y'all call me.
Not long after Sweet Tea's interview shook the internet, Dr. Gregory finally spoke out. He released a statement addressing the rumors, and honestly, his words felt carefully chosen. He denied any wrongdoing and chalked the entire situation up to irreconcilable differences. According to him, their marriage just wasn't meant to last, and they both had different visions for the future. But here's the thing, fans weren't buying it. Sweet Tea's words had too much weight. She spoke with emotion, with details that felt raw and real. Meanwhile, Dr. Gregory's response felt more like a PR move than an honest reflection of what went down. He didn't acknowledge any of Sweet Tea's claims, didn't address the whispers of control issues, and didn't mention the possibility of infidelity. The internet quickly dissected his statement, pointing out how he dodged the real issues. Some fans felt like his response was a way to protect his reputation rather than tell the full truth. Others questioned why he didn't show more emotion. If Sweet Tea was exaggerating, why wasn't he defending himself more aggressively? But the biggest red flag? His silence on Sweet Tea's messages and that interview moment when she hinted at another woman. If it wasn't true, why didn't he deny it? Instead of putting rumors to rest, his response only fueled more. And just like that, the story didn't die down. It got even bigger.
So, I mean, it's kind of good to finally have a little time to ourselves.
Yeah, I know you've been upset with everything.
I've been so hurt by this group lately.
For Sweet Tea, it seems like this breakup was a blessing in disguise. She's been posting more on social media, showing off a more confident and carefree side. Fans have noticed that she looks happier, like she's finally free from the pressure she was under in her marriage. She's been dropping hints that she's focusing on herself, her goals, and moving forward without any baggage. And let's be real, she's got the internet on her side. The overwhelming response to her story has been supportive, with many praising her for walking away and speaking her truth. People love a strong comeback story, and right now it looks like Sweet Tea is embracing her fresh start. Dr. Gregory, on the other hand, well, he's facing a different reality. Ever since Sweet Tea's interview, the public perception of him has taken a hit. While some fans are still defending him, saying there are two sides to every story, many others feel like his carefully crafted image is crumbling. People are questioning his past, his marriage to Quad Webb, and whether this pattern of control and toxicity has been there all along. And now, the biggest question on everyone's mind, is Sweet Tea holding back even more bombshells? Because let's be honest, she only gave us a glimpse of what happened. If she were to drop even more details, even more proof, Dr. Gregory's reputation could take an even bigger hit. And based on how the internet works, fans are just waiting for her next move. If there's one thing we've learned from this, it's that appearances can be deceiving. From the outside, Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory's relationship seemed like a fairy tale. The picture-perfect moments, the luxury lifestyle, it all looked like a dream. But in reality, it was a ticking time bomb, a toxic situation just waiting to implode. No amount of money, status, or public image is worth staying in a situation that makes you feel unheard and undervalued. And as for Dr. Gregory, will he ever respond with the real truth? Or is this just the beginning of more revelations to come? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.